This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 557 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is brought to you by ECOGOLD, leader in equestrian textile engineering. Hi, Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is from Fran Jurga. Fran is the creative force behind Hoof Care Publishing, which chronicles progress in the art and science of preventing, recognizing, and treating lameness problems in horses. Today's tip is a group of great book and DVD titles for your holiday shopping list. But first, a word from today's sponsor, ECOGOLD. ECOGOLD uses the latest developments in textile technology plus smart design to make the most advanced products on the market. Because ECOGOLD doesn't have a one-type-fits-all mentality, their textile engineering team looks at different issues affecting sport horses' comfort and performance and comes up with the best materials and design for each saddle pad. Improve your horse's comfort with ECOGOLD saddle pads. Ask for ECOGOLD saddle pads and protective boots by name at your local tack supplier or visit them online at ecogold.ca. Now, enjoy today's tip. And welcome back, Fran Jurga. It's been so long since I've spoken to you. How are you, my dear?
I'm just great, Jennifer. It's so wonderful to be back. Thanks for inviting me.
It's been a long time. It's been too long. You've been out there running to and fro, hopping the globe.
That's what I do.
Hopping the globe all over the place. But I've got a sneaking suspicion in all of your travels and all this time you've been away, not been hanging around here doing tips with us, you've gotten quite the collection of reading materials. So we're going to chit-chat a little bit about some of your excellent book recommendations because you know them all. So
not just that, Jen, but when I'm traveling around, I'm able to pick up books that I wouldn't be able to get around here. So I'm going to tell you about some really great ones that I've managed to lug home in my suitcase.
Tell us. We can't wait. What have you got on what have you got on tap for us?
I just want to start because we've just had the Breeders' Cup and everything. Let's start at the top, Jen. This is a book that I think people would love to find under their Christmas tree if they have any interest at all in thoroughbreds. It is the most beautiful coffee table gift book. It's called The Horses of the Aga Khan, A Racing and Breeding Tradition. And yes, this comes from Europe.
That sounds
by
pretty.
Philip Jodidio, and it's a book that's bound on the short side, so it's a long rectangle, and it's sumptuous paper, incredible photography of all the Aga Khan's farms, of all of his great racehorses, portraits of his great racehorses. This is one of the most luxurious books that I have seen in years, and I am, I have to say that I had always heard of, his horses, and I'd been to his farm in Ireland, but I had no idea what a long tradition this family had, and, their breeding programs, and the whole thing is covered in this book, and I just can't recommend it highly enough. It looks like it would cost about probably $150, but I believe that it's about $60 right now with the, the current price with the exchange rate and everything. And this is a book that I can almost guarantee you that people wouldn't already have. And
that's not one of the titles that you're going to see every which where. Oh, even the front, I just hit the old look inside button online. You're right, it's just gorgeous. Oh my goodness.
It's really beautiful.
It is.
It weighs a ton, and you know that I have to be a real trooper to carry this around in my suitcase, but
yeah,
it is a real treasure. And I just think that anyone would love to have this as a gift, and it comes all nicely, shrink wrapped and protected and everything. And another book that I do recommend, if that's, too expensive or whatever. There's a new biography that came out, and it's about the horse Affirmed, who basically was our last Triple Crown winner. It's by Lou Sahadi, and I wasn't actually familiar with him as an author. He's a sports writer, but it's from St. Martin's Press, and it's a reasonably priced biography, and just it may as well say Affirmed and Alidar in the title, but it is.
Well, yeah, you can't say one without the other in history.
You just can't.
Yeah.
It's so funny, but if there's anyone that is wasn't around back then, and wonders, well, what is everyone always talking about? Affirmed and Alidar, or even just Affirmed, and why hasn't there been a Triple Crown winner since then? I mean, we don't know, but this is a very nice book, and it's a reasonable price, and I think that would make a nice gift in the thoroughbred.
This looks like a good read.
As well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think so. I think he was a horse, that maybe was in the shadow of Seattle Slew, and his accomplishments maybe haven't gotten as much attention as they should have. So this is like a second life for me.
I have a number of books in this same genre. I have books about, I think half a dozen of them on Secretariat. I have Ruffian, I have Barber. I have a lot of books on race horses that were written well after the racehorse's career was over from a historical perspective. Right. And I really enjoy them because you get a snapshot of not just the horse himself, but what was really going on in the racing and the equestrian and the sporting culture at that particular time. And I really enjoy reading them. So this is going to go on my Christmas list. And you're right, it is very reasonably priced. This is something that can fit on anybody's price list.
And you know what I've noticed lately in the bookstores is that some of the books that you're talking about, especially Bill Knack's book on Secretariat and the book on Ruffian, have been issued in paperback, which they were never in paperback. Kind of, I don't want to say that they're mass market books, but they're very reasonable priced. And, I think it's great that maybe that makes them a little more affordable and will make people read some more about horses. Like, those two horses are two that come to my mind, but I noticed that there were others too. I was kind of surprised that, there were so many paperback editions of horse biographies. So I think that's a really good sign. And, I just wish we could have more and more and more.
Yeah. What I really love about getting the paperback versions is they're really very affordable. And my favorite thing to do with a really good book, unlike you, because when you get a book, you commit to it for life. I'm quite the opposite. I think of
build more shelves.
Yeah, I think of having a book as fostering it, because if the book is really good, I cannot wait to pass it on to a good friend so they can enjoy it too.
Oh, aren't you generous?
I love to do that. I put it into a box,
and then I never get them back.
I love to put it into a box or take it along with me when I go visit friends and pass it on to the next person. There are very, very few. I think I probably have about a half a dozen books that won't leave anymore because I just still like to page through them. But and if it's a book that I didn't really enjoy all that much, and I don't really feel like passing it to a friend because it's like, well, that really wasn't all that great, then I just put a piece of paper inside the front cover that says, here, it's yours to enjoy, and I leave it at the laundromat. I actually got that idea from somebody else. I was reading somebody's blog one time, and they said that's what they do with their books when they're finished with them. And they go to some public place, and they put a little bookmark that sticks out the top that says something to the effect of, I've enjoyed this book. Here, now you enjoy it. When you're finished, send it to, put it somewhere for somebody else to enjoy.
That's great. Although the thing about books is that it's very subjective, and the book that you like may not be the one that somebody else likes.
That's right. Somebody at that laundromat's picking up that book and going, how could she possibly give this up? Right. This is the best book ever.
Oh, isn't that funny? While we're talking about thoroughbred books, I should mention one that I am going to recommend as a children's book. But there's this book that I I give people as a gift all the time, and it's been out. I think it came out last year, or maybe the year before. It's called Black Diamond and Blake. Are you familiar with that book, Jen?
I'm not. Tell me.
It's great. It's an oversized children's book. It's by Deborah Blumenthal, who was I've been corresponding with her. She's a style editor for the New York Times, and it's illustrated by Miles Hyman. And it's the story of a racehorse who ends up, fortunately or unfortunately, without anyone who wants to take him over at the end of his career. So he ends up in a prison, in a kind of a rehab program,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the prisoners absolutely falls in love with him, and I'm not going to tell you, the basis.
Don't spoil
of the story,
end. No spoilers.
No. And that's the very beginning of the story. But it's an excellent story for anyone who's an advocate of, second career racehorses, retired racehorses, whatever. I don't like to call them retired, but anyone who's advocating for better programs for retraining ex-racehorses and having them be more productive in their second lives and, having more responsibility for these racehorses. This is the book to give someone as a present if you're trying to get that message across. It is, first of all, beautiful, and second of all, just tells a magnificent story, both of building character and what horses can do for people. It's a terrific book. It's published
So this
by
one's
Alfred
this
Knopf.
one's more of a young person's book versus children's. Would you say?
Yeah, I
More-
would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also for adults. I mean, it really, the moral of the story is very, very, very clear to adults. I mean, to a child, it's a story of, oh, he loved this horse so much, but to adults, it would be, oh, we can see how this person's character changed, and we can see, the value of horses and the interaction with animals in both rehabilitating people and rehabilitating horses.
And again, another one very reasonably priced, fits on everybody's list. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, there we go.
It's just something special. And I would love to have some of the artwork framed in my house or in my office. It's really pretty special. Very
It is.
special.
It's a very pretty book. You're right. It's just a little bit whimsical. The artwork in it. It's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got
place in the 1930s. So that's where the whimsical part comes from. It's trying to evoke a little bit of a historic, even though it's taking a contemporary program, it's kind of setting it back into the past.
Well, it's kind of nice that they do it that way because it, by putting it in a historical setting, it's going to have a different effect on the reader than it would if it was set in a modern setting. It takes the hotly contested and politically charged arguments of the day out of the storyline because it's not set in current times. So
Right.
that's kind of cool. So we've got, 4 there? 4 books already on racing and racing-like things?
Yeah, I could go on forever. You know me.
So let me do a quick review of the titles. We've got Black Diamond and Blake.
Yeah.
We've got Affirm, the last Triple Crown winner, which is on my list. We've got, I'm just hitting the back page, and the Horses of the Aga Khan. So that's 3. And the Horses of the Aga Khan, I want somebody who I know really well and I visit regularly to get that one so that I can go to their house for dinner and look through it. I don't have coffee table books at my house. That's true. I could just go to the big bookstores. So that's some really cool titles recommended by Fran.
And then the other thing is to keep your eye out for some of the classic titles that have been reissued in paperback, so that they're much more reasonably priced.
Absolutely. So we've got some great ones there recommended by Fran, and Fran knows. So listen up, people. And thanks for stopping by with some recommendations. We're going to do this again shortly. So fear not, folks. If you've got a different equestrian topic on your mind and need some book recommendations, keep listening because we're going to do some more of this. And we'll see you next time, Fran.
Thanks so much, Jen. Keep reading.
To listen to all of Fran's tips, just go to horsetipdaily.com and go to the experts drop-down menu on the left. You can also see Fran's blog at hoofblog.com. Don't forget to support our sponsors on Horse Tip Daily because they make these podcasts possible. Today's sponsor has been ECOGOLD. Ask for their saddle pads and protective horse boots by name at your local tack supplier or visit them online at ecogold.ca. Please stop by the Horse Tip Daily Facebook page and let us know what you think of the tips you hear on the show. It's also a great place to tell us about topics you'd like us to cover on the show. You can subscribe to all of the great shows on the Horse Radio Network through iTunes or Zune and get your horse podcasts automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, go ride your horse! The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.